Leave it. It's fine. It's fine.
Make a mess.
All right. So we're talking about gut health. And it's popular right now. So you might have heard someone use the term healthy gut, microbiome, leaky gut. All of that is talking about the same information. It's our digestive system, including the stomach, our intestines, all the way down to our colon. What science has recently found is that 70% of our immune system is in the gut. I have somebody else coming in. So give me. Oh, Ashley's coming in. And so when we are talking about being healthy and happy, it makes sense, right, that we're taking a look at the gut. So, all right. And I wanted to spotlight myself. All right. All right. So I said healthy and happy. And the reason I also included happy, because there's even newer research, and I have this special book if you want to take a look at it. It's called The Psychobiotic Revolution. And what we're finding now is that there are very specific lines of probiotics that are associated to your mental health. And so if you have a gut that's flourishing with many, many billions of different types of probiotics in that gut area, it can be linked to lowering anxiety, lowering depression, and actually alleviating some obsessive compulsive disorders. So when you're looking at what you ingest, what you put into your body, it's definitely associated to your health, your immunity, but also to your mental health. And so this is like perfect for us to get going, right? All right. So I have 3 different recipes. They're very similar in that they have root vegetables, but they take different amount of time. So I know that some of us work full time, some of us don't like to work in the kitchen. And so I try to hit everybody's needs. And so our first one is going to be a vegan carrot soup. And the first thing that we do, and I know that that Viola is getting the recipes ready, but we're going to saute, or we're going to simmer some fresh onions and celery. Now, when I talked about gut health, we're talking about the microbiome, and the microbiome is full of these little microbes that love to eat food. Whatever we're eating, it eats it. What it loves to eat is fiber. And that's what the prebiotic is. So you might have heard the term prebiotic. So prebiotic is the food that the probiotics eat. So you want to feed your gut the food that they like to eat. And that food is fiber. And so the best place that you can find fiber is in fruits and vegetables, whole fruits and vegetables, not juices and not items that have been processed. There was a time when we ate bread, and when we ate bread, it was full of fiber. But we soon learned that if we processed the wheat and we made it into white flour, it tasted better. The bread and the cakes were fluffier, right? It went much further. But then what happened is we lost all of the fiber inside the bread. And so when you're buying processed baked goods, you're getting that white bread without any fiber. And so then the gut doesn't have any food to eat. And so we want to make sure that we are feeding the gut what it wants to eat so that it can be healthy. And the good news is that it only takes 2 weeks of eating healthy to build your microbiome back up. So if you think about some of the bad things that you heard, what are some of the things that are bad for your gut? Does anything stand out to you? Sugar, right? Sugar is horrible, but it actually, I'm not going to say it's horrible. Sugar feeds candida, right? And so that's something that's living in the gut. It's a dysbiosis. It's not the healthy microbiome that we're looking for. So I cut up some celery and some onions, and I'm gonna stick them into some oil to saute them.
What kind of oil?
So I wanted to actually talk about that, so I'm glad you asked that question. So in your recipe, it says olive oil. I never heat olive oil. I find olive oil is not a medium or a high heat oil. Olive oil is excellent for us. Drizzled on bread, drizzled on a salad, not heated. And so I have a high heat oil, and my is organic sunflower. And you guys are welcome to look at anything or I can ask you. But if you look at the bottle, it actually says high heat on it. So you want to make sure that your oil is meant to be heated up. So we have sunflower oil, which is meant to be heated up.
I found that was really helpful recently because I actually I know that avocado oil, believe it or not, is high heat.
So at home, I use avocado oil and coconut oil. Those are my two go-to oils. Yes. They do have a much stronger taste. And so I opted not to use them for ours today. But I love the taste, and I love the taste of coconut. I love the taste of the avocado oil.
Yeah.
And avocado.
High baking as well. So it's
Yes.
really nice to have that.
Yes.
And just real quick on your fruit, because I'm really going to learn this. On your fruit, because it's the fiber, like you had said. What about dried fruit? Do they love sugar?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't know if everyone can hear me on Zoom. So Sally was asking, fruit is full of fiber. It's good for our bodies. And Sally was asking about dried fruit. So when you dry the fruit, you actually condense that sugar. And so if you're trying to work on that microbiome, you don't want to have that additional sugar in there.
So metabolically, it changes it.
Yes, it does. Yes. Yes. And the same thing with juice. When you get juice, they take the fiber out, and all you're getting is, and it still has lots of anthocyanins in it. It's a good vitamin for you, but you're losing out on all of the fiber. So.
I love coconut oil, but there's so much controversy about it. Coconut oil has a lot of saturated fat.
So I will share with my thoughts. So I study Ayurveda, and so I'm actually cutting some carrots now. So I put some onions and celery in here. I'm cutting carrots, and I bought rainbow carrots. My carrots are organic, so you don't have to peel them if they're organic. They actually have a film on them that's actually healthy for you. I'm going to cut them up. They won't be as bright orange inside here because I have some purple and some white ones in there. And then I have that Yukon potato in here, and we'll talk about those. So coconut oil does have high fat. So in Ayurveda, fat is good for the body. It actually helps to transfer a lot of the nutrients into the cell, but it really depends on you personally. Coconut oil also is a cooling oil. So if you have dry skin, coconut oil will make that skin even drier. Mm-hmm.
Orally?
Both. Yes. Yes. I know. Ayurveda knew. All right. So if you look at the recipe, I put and I'm doing half. So I put half a medium onion in there. I put 2 ribs of celery. I didn't use canola. I used the same oil here. I'm going to put some broth in, and I have an organic vegetable broth that I'm going to be adding. It's also asking for a pound of carrot, which I'm cutting up right now. And so I'm going to cut these carrots up. Now, carrots have some sugar in there too, right?
Right.
And so whenever you look at a diet, even a very specific menu item, be specific about who you are and what your body is. If you know that you have trouble with too much sugar, then maybe carrot soup isn't the best one. Maybe a potato or a butternut squash would be a better choice for you. All right. So what I did to help us out is I parboiled all the carrots and the potatoes so they wouldn't take as long. But typically you would have raw carrots, raw potatoes. So this is a vegan soup, and you would probably put maybe a dairy in this soup to make it creamy. Because it's vegan, we are putting a white yellow potato in there. And a Yukon potato will add some thickness to it, give it a little more decadence. And these are very buttery, so it's gonna add that buttery flavor. And so I also parboiled these potatoes. And so you can hear it starting to simmer. Hopefully you're starting to smell it too. I know.
It's so good in here.
So what are these going to do for our gut? Do you remember what we talked about? So what is happening right now when I get these ready for us? What are we helping with?
Fiber.
Fiber, exactly, right.
Yeah.
And fiber is a prebiotic, which is going to feed the gut. We want to feed our gut so that it becomes prolific and so that it will keep us healthy. All right. So I need to add some onions and celery to the next soup. So I am going to take a few out, not a whole lot, just a few. And then I'm going to add my carrots and my potatoes in here. And you can follow along on the recipe if you see that I'm doing anything different.
Bring it out.
Point it out to me. Well, and it might done it on purpose. All right, we're gonna put some salt and pepper in here.
Take warmers in celery, so why put celery in first?
They sauteed that first to kind of to warm it up and to release the flavors. Everything else is going to cook in the broth, and so they wanted to bring that brown flavor in there first. You know, when you saute the onions, it releases a different flavor. So, okay, and salt. So this is, I actually am friends with Selena's. They're a Celtic sea salt. This is a Himalayan salt. Salt has kind of got a bad rap, right? They tell us that it's bad, but we really need salt, and good salt has the minerals and iodine that we need. This is Himalayan, yeah. Hand gathered in the sun, no heat. So, all right, so we've got our carrots in here. And now we're gonna put our broth in here. And so our broth is a organic vegetarian. You could very easily use a chicken broth if you eat meat. That's perfectly fine. I'm doing a focus on vegetables because vegetables are what we're talking about as far as feeding the microbiome. All right, so this is going to simmer for 20 minutes. So we're gonna leave this and we're gonna go to the next one. All right, so this next one is the slow cooker sweet potato chocolate mole. Yoo-hoo!
Was mine today.
All right, so I talked a little bit about having fiber in the diet. So fiber is, oh, we have somebody else coming in.
Oh, yeah.
So we want good fiber to feed the gut. And so that's what we're doing in this one. And so what we have here is some, where do we have it inside here? Some peeled and cubed sweet potatoes. And it's also asking for some onions. And so we're gonna go ahead and put the onions in here. So now this recipe, this is an excellent recipe for those of you that work, right? So you're gonna get it ready in the morning, you're gonna take off to work, you're gonna come home, and it's gonna be ready. So, all right. So we don't have, this is supposed to cook for 4 to 6 hours, so I actually started cooking this at home. And so I cubed all of the sweet potatoes. I know that you can go to, I think it's Sam's and Costco, and they have these already cubed, frozen. So if you're super busy and you don't have time to do that, you can just buy them frozen. So I went and I cubed all of the sweet potatoes and I put them in my crock pot. You can smell it too. And anybody's welcome. You're welcome to come up if you have your mask on. Do know you will be filmed. You will be on camera. That's okay. All right. So this recipe also, you would saute the onions ahead of time. And this one has lots of different spices in it. So this is a mole. And so there is cayenne pepper in here. There is cumin. I added smoked paprika because I like the smokiness, and you won't see that on there. And so when you taste it, you can see if you enjoy that. So there is a smoked paprika in here, cinnamon, tarragon, some ground garlic. So this is garlic that I grew and I dehydrated it. So this is really potent. And so I have this ground garlic in there, and then salt, the Himalayan sea salt, and some pepper and some oregano. And this is oregano from my garden too. So it's a little bit stronger. So all of that went into the onions. We sauteed them. They went into the pot. The sweet potatoes went into the pot. And then we added this. And it's the same thing that's in here. It's an organic vegetable broth. So this has been sitting for 4 hours. So now we're going to add the chocolate. And Ashley was here and she was laughing at me because she knows I just love chocolate. And so I just had to find a recipe. But really, when you're looking at gut health, another one of those superfoods that you can enjoy to help with the gut health is anything that's fermented.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that cacao is fermented?
Yeah.
We did because we go to Aldura, right? And they talk about the fermentation process. So this is actually a fermented food that I'm adding inside here. And so I was happy that, and I'm not sure if this one is fermented, but most times seaweed is fermented too, right? So you can add miso, seaweed, any of the soy sauces, any of those will add that fermentation to your meal, and that's going to help the gut. So, but this is quite different. So the fermented food is not a prebiotic. It's not feeding. It is actually adding strains to the microbiome. So you are increasing the types of the different biotics that are inside the gut, which is what we want, right? We want all different kinds inside there. So this has been heating up. So I'm going to open this up. And it says to chop finely. And what I did is I took one of my glass jars here and I just kind of pounded it. And so we're adding this chocolate. And this chocolate here is it's organic dark chocolate, fair trade, no added sugar. So this is 100% cacao because we don't want sugar, right? And so all we're doing is adding that chocolate in here, good fermentation to help the gut.
Would chocolate nibs also work?
Yes, those are good. Yeah. And all of these soups are going to be blended up. So it's okay if it's not, if it doesn't break up right away, because the nibs are kind of hard, right? We're going to actually stick them in the blender. All right. So now we have our chocolate in there, and this is going to sit for just a little bit. Let me give it a nice little stir.
I love the sound of this recipe, I have to tell you.
Are you excited to try it?
I am. I am.
All right. All right.
So, Denise,
Yes.
were you saying that as a variation you could add miso?
You could, or you could create a new dish that has miso in it. But adding miso to your diet will help increase the different types of bacteria that you have in your gut. Kimchi, sauerkraut, all of those.
Yeah.
So it's, when it fits in your presentation, would you mind talking a little bit about how to cook with miso? I mean, you usually have to wait until it's.
Yes, yes. And so, so the question is about using miso. And so fermentation used to be done to keep our food from spoiling. So if we had, you know, like lots of fruit on the tree, or if we even meat, if we had an excess, we would need to ferment it in order to keep it. Then refrigeration came, right? So we have all these wonderful inventions, right? but they took some of the old practices away when they came. And so we're not eating as much fermented foods. To have a raw fermentation, the microbes that live in a fermented item, you don't want to heat it. So what Lydia is asking is, how do you use it? And so typically I would do like an egg drop soup or more of a clear broth. I don't eat meat, I'm vegetarian. So if I had like an onion soup, at the end, I would add that miso in there, stir it in there so that it doesn't get heated up. So yes, yeah.
And you can put it in almost any.
You could, it adds a little saltiness. It's kind of like the umami flavor, right? It adds some saltiness. I also like to put, like you could put kimchi or some sauerkraut just on top.
Yeah.
We're going to use some yogurt today. But yeah, all of these different ways, because each one of these foods have a different strand of microbes in it. And so you want to have that variant so that you're growing this microbiome. Bless you. All right, so this is now simmering. So now we're going to move to the next soup. Let me move this over here.
Real quick, how does, and well, I look at apple cider vinegar and I use it for different things, but it's so strong, right? It becomes, I mean, it's acidic, obviously, but it's also, I think, a ferment.
It has a mother inside of it. If you get a raw one, it has a mother inside of it.
That's what I get.
And that's good. So some people will like pickle their foods.
Yeah.
And you'll get that. You do need to be careful because like what you said, it is an acid and you have to watch your teeth and you also have to watch the esophagus going down.
I was thinking that, every morning.
So they noticed right away that it was affecting your teeth. All right. All right. So here's our last one. And so this is for that busy person that wants to eat healthy, but this doesn't have time. And so, you know, there's no judgment here, right? I mean, I know that, especially we're all women here, that there's an expectation that we do everything, that we're Wonder Woman, right? We go to work, we take care of the family, we do the kids, we take care of this, and we go home and we do this big spread of this meal. And it's tough, right?
Yeah.
But there are healthy ways that you can create some meals and just jazz them up a bit. So what we're going to do is the recipe asked for Amy's, and I actually know the family. I know Amy's, that's the daughter, and Andy and his wife created the Amy's line. I couldn't find the soup though, so I got Pacific instead, but this is organic, and this is a good brand too. Yeah. So you find a brand that you feel comfortable with. Again, I do organic, right? Because I don't want glyphosate. I don't want anything that's going to hurt my microbiome. And so I'm going to put this soup, and I'm using a Vitamix because it heats it up. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it all. You guys are just going to have to take all this home because we're going to have all this food. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. All right. So I've got this lovely butternut squash. And so this is a root vegetable, right? Now this has been processed, so it doesn't have as much fiber in it as if you were to actually get the butternut squash and eat it. But again, it's still a healthy choice, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some fiber. And so the recipe says to add some chickpeas. You go to the store, you won't find chickpeas, but you will find garbanzo beans.
Yeah.
And so these are organic garbanzo beans. I've already rinsed them and put them back inside here. And so it says to add 3/4. So I'm just going to add some garbanzo beans. So here's some fiber, but I'm also adding protein, right? Yes. So now, and this is going to thicken that soup up a bit. Now we're not going to end there though, because we want to add some spice. So this is organic curry. And you guys like it strong?
Did you say curry or curry?
Curry.
Okay.
So I know it's hard with the mask on. This is curry. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
And then what kind of curry is that?
A special blend of curry that I made.
I can tell by the jar.
I know. And it's an Amy's jar, right? Because yeah, I know.
What about carrots? You like the carrot soups?
If they're organic, yes. Yes, I've seen them before. So yeah. All right. So now, really simple, right? I just opened up my soup, And one thing nice about these is you don't have to worry about the BPA.
Yeah.
Although most of the cans have gone BPA free, they really haven't. They have a different type. It's still just as dangerous. Amy's is a good company, so they wouldn't choose that. Yeah, but okay. So this is gonna be a little loud, but I got it on my soup, my hot soup, and we're gonna go ahead and blend this up.
And you did the lime juice?
I did not have any lime juice. I did bring a lemon if I wanted to put a lemon in there. And I didn't add the tequila to this one either. Now that you guys have the recipe. I know. Can I go now? That's why I came. I know. I will put some lemon in there. That's all I had at home. All right. But lime would add that different, that it actually brightens the flavor. All right, so okay, hang on guys, here we go. Still so cold. I don't know how loud it is. So it doesn't feel like it's getting warm. When I'm at home, I actually heat my soup up and then I put it in there, but I researched it and asked if it actually heated it up and it said yes, but it's not feeling very warm. But you've all had good spots. What's that good spot? It'll be okay. Yeah. All right. So every one of these dishes is going to be blended. And so I have my little one, and then I have my bigger one. So we're gonna blend them so that you can try them.
You want me to help you with making that?
Yeah, I think maybe when I start to blend them and then we'll start passing it out. But I'm gonna let these cool down just a bit. I'm gonna move this over here. Yes. Yeah, you could do either way, right? So this one you can heat up and put it in there, or you can heat it up afterwards. Yeah. So whenever you heat foods, you actually are breaking down some of the nutrients. So yeah. Mhm.
I have one of those submersible things too.
Oh, those are the immersion blenders, right?
Yeah.
Yes, those are nice. Those are nice.
Yeah, those are awesome.
All right. So I wanted to recap before we start blending and tasting. And so we all have this gut microbiome, and this is what digests our food. This is what helps to break down the nutrients of what we're eating. What we're learning is the postbiotic, what it creates is feeling good. It could be what's alleviating anxiety and depression. It brings health. It boosts your immunity. If you're eating foods that are not healthy, what it creates is not healthy, right? You know, because you'll feel gassy, you'll have gas, you'll have that bloatiness, right? So that's your enzymes trying to break it down, but it doesn't quite know what to do, or it's just really hard on the stomach to be able to break it down. So what we need to do is we need to eat our prebiotics, which is our fruits and vegetables, real food, whole foods, organic if you can. Now, where do you get that strong microbiome? Because I've got my nice foods that I'm feeding it, but where do I get the microbiome, all of that bacteria inside there? Where does that come from? Originally, it came from our mom when you were born, right? When you came through the birth canal, you were inoculated with that microbiome. When you first fed off your mom's nipple and you had the mother's milk, that also helped with that. Some of us, I was not born. I was a C-section, and I was fed a bottle, so I missed out on some of that. And I think science is now learning how important that is, but it doesn't mean I didn't still get it. We still are getting it. It's on the top of some of the vegetables. It's in the dirt. You can supplement, and Vessel Health happens to have some really wonderful probiotics that you can buy. Some of you might be already taking probiotics. And so you can actually put these into your system and then feed them with these healthy vegetables to help build that up. Another way that you get it is through fermentation, right? So eating fermented foods. What we found, and so this book that I had shared with you, this Psychobiotic, the one that connects it to mental health, it says that the culture that's in yogurt is one of the best for anti-anxiety. Now, I don't do dairy, but right now you can go out to the store and you can find, you can have, coconut milk. I even found, there's all different kinds of, but it's the culture that's living in there. According to this book, the research shows that it is much better absorbed with fat. So we've been taught for so long not to have fat, right? So you buy this yogurt and you get it fat-free. And we actually want a fat yogurt. This is 5%. And this, thank you, Violet.
I'm not trying to block.
No, you're fine.
Denise,
No
but I
one needs
want
to see
know
you.
that this-
And this is Greek yogurt, so there's no sugar added.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I look at it right away when I buy yogurt, there's so much gas.
Yeah. So I'm gonna,
Look at that too now.
so I'm gonna blend these up, and then we're gonna top it, if you want to, we're gonna top it with the yogurt. We're also going to slice up some avocado, because here's another fruit, right, that has some fiber inside of it, and it has some good fats for you. I also have some lovely cilantro and parsley to put on top of your soup, right? I did not grow this one, because I do, but it's not the time to grow right now. So right now, you can create this lovely soup that's beautiful, right? You could even sprinkle some extra chili on there if you wanted to. No cheese. No cheese. Although you could put some like brewer's yeast on there, and that is a fermented item, which would add, some support. So the question is, when she's eating a vegan diet, it's actually creating gas. And so it is hard to digest fiber, right? And if we haven't been eating fiber, it takes a while for us to build up that ability to digest it.
If I eat salad every day, is that fiber?
It is fiber.
Beans and so.
So what I would recommend is not being a raw vegan. Cook your food a little bit. According to Ayurveda, we have this fire, this digestive fire, and that's what's going to digest our food. And if we put cold food in there, we kind of put that fire out. And so if we start to cook it, not all the way, because we don't want to cook all of the nutrients down. We don't want to break down everything. But if we start the cooking process, it's almost like starting the digestive process a little bit. And so I used to eat raw vegan because I thought that was the healthiest, but it wasn't good for me either. And I had that same issue.
It's hard to digest, like kale. If you don't cook kale, it's hard to digest.
Yes. Yes.
And then all the cruciferous vegetables give you.
Yes. But there are some really wonderful herbs. It's asafoetida, which is hing, helps the body break down and alleviate some of the gas. And so it's an Ayurvedic herb. So I'm going to blend up these soups, and then we're going to try them. So, and Sally, do you mind? I think there's a question that somebody's asking.
Hello.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see. We've got Nikki, Ashley. Where do I see?
Or maybe a comment. So on the right-hand
Oh, yeah, yeah.
side, there, I thought there was a couple
You
questions.
are already spotlighted for me. Everybody says that the chat is basically saying that nope, you're good. I don't see
Okay.
any. But don't hesitate. If you have any questions, please. We can get with you.
So-
Nikki, Sherry, Ashley.
I am sorry that you're not going to be able to taste it, but I am going to ask the participants to share their thoughts on what we're eating, right? And I will share with you, this will be my first time too. I made it early because I wanted to try it first. Yeah, could you cut some avocado to put on the top and we can open up the,
I know there's a hit.
over there, I put bowls and stuff. And I have, actually, if you want to use this, I have a, and there was no meat or anything. So, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna blend up this soup. So this is the mole, this is the sweet potato with the celery and the onions and the chocolate, the chocolate was put inside here and all of these lovely spices. So let's go ahead and blend it up. Ooh, this is lovely. All right, got it. But usually, okay, so there's a conversation going on in the room about gas. And sometimes there's gas when we're processing food, but if there's too much gas or you have a lot of gas, that means that your system is having trouble digesting. All right, so here's the mole. And I don't know, I'm gonna put just a little dollop just because it's gonna look pretty. I have to.
We got the double knife now.
Oh, that one's my knife, but it might be. I must have the dullest one too. All right. All right.
I'll sharpen your knife.
I don't know if you can see this lovely soup. I'm going to move this up. Woo, is that beautiful?
All right.
So all right. So then we're going to blend. So if you guys want to go ahead and start serving this soup, I'll go ahead and blend up the first one, which is the vegan carrot. All right, and let's use a brand new blender. All right, so these are the carrots, the onion. This was in the vegetable broth. And you know what I brought, but I don't see it. It might have fallen out. It didn't ask for it, but I brought ginger and I didn't put it in there. But I always have ginger in my carrot soup, so I would recommend that, but it must have fallen in my bag somewhere.
So do you slice it up to use it in there?
And I buy organic, so I don't have to worry about just putting it right in there. So some of the stores, you'll find that it's organic. Like I get the container of it, just because I want to make sure that there was no Roundup or anything put in the soil. Uh-huh.
They have two
Yeah.
places. We have regular.
All right. So now we're going to blend up this last soup. This is the one that we worked on from the very beginning. So yeah, this is the carrot soup. That's the mole. You want to pour some of this out. This is the butternut squash. We have paper towels right here. Thank you. All right. So this is the carrot soup.
And want me to put that in the little cups, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
The mole.
How's it taste? Can you could put it on a rice if you wanted, or on something, or you drink it alone. Can some of you do, any of you feel comfortable going on camera to share the flavor so that they can? So, you can just do right in there, right? I was doing the presentation, but no one can see it. All of them can have avocado.
Yeah.
So there is, there's yogurt if you want to put yogurt on yours. And I have a spoon.
Which one's the mole one? This one?
That's the mole. All right. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's not quite the same online as it is in person because you don't get the smell and the scent. But I hope that you've been inspired to try these at home. You see how simple they are. I did 3 recipes in a matter of 40 minutes. So with lots of talking too. Sometimes it can be, but once your kitchen, your pantry gets filled, then yeah. I don't buy meat, I don't buy dairy, so I save a little bit there. Yeah, but it does take a little bit. Yes. Yeah. So did anybody come up and share? Did anybody want to share what their experiences were?
Both places.
That would have been carrot. So the small pullet was carrot. So that's the carrot.
That's the carrot.
They're very similar, right?
I've got butternut squash here.
So this is butternut squash. So Sally's passing out the butternut squash now. You had the carrot.
Yeah.
And so if anybody would like to add some yogurt to the top of there.
Oh, no.
And if you want to put a dash of cayenne or cinnamon, or if you want to put some smoked paprika, you can add some paprika. Or even some oregano.
Sorry.
Yes. So the question, Lydia's asking the question if the root vegetables are better for probiotics. Yes. Now, prebiotic is the fiber. Root vegetables have a lot of fiber, but when you pull an organic vegetable out of the ground and it has that dirt on there, you're actually able to build up the probiotics in your gut. Yeah. So you're doing both. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys don't just want to volunteer. Tell us what you think. Was there a favorite? Nice.
I'd like to say that the sweet potato mole is very spicy and very yummy. And satisfying.
I know. I've never had mole.
And you friends, ladies, do we have
They're all tasty. I like the sweet potato, but it's a little too spicy for me, so I think I will cut back on the chili.
So it said it was two tablespoons. There was a lot. So
Yeah. But the taste is good. Yeah.
can you taste the chocolate?
Yeah. Yes. But I love the spice. My God.
Sparky
That is
is
hot.
wearing it
I can see
and
avocado
absolutely
helping
loving
to
it.
cool that down.
She's like, "Yep, this is absolutely fabulous. Thank you."
So good.
Oh my. That is good. I had the mole. This one here.
I was afraid because I like curry, but not.
You're welcome to come, and if you want to take a little bit of the curry with a spoon and kind of see what the curry mix is. It's an organic curry mix. Not a lot of heat. You'll notice that my Vitamix is kind of stained. I do a lot of turmeric. So, because turmeric's really anti-inflammatory, so I cook a lot with it. Yeah. All right. So there's lots of food up here. You guys are welcome to come and get some more. You could try it before it was blended. I hope that you guys on Zoom enjoyed this. We had so much fun doing our first Healthy Living Series class. Hopefully you'll come back and join us for other classes.
Yeah, so friends on Facebook, this is new for us at Vessel Health. This is our Healthy Living series. We're gonna be here every Wednesday at 5:30. You know, sometimes we'll be here for an hour, sometimes maybe not, maybe even longer. So Facebook, thank you for joining us. Our Zoom friends, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
If you guys have any questions, please reach out to us here. We are truly grateful. So all month of January, we're going to be talking about gut health.
Yeah.
So it's really important. Ashley will be here at the end of the month, giving us really the science and the kind of background and how she referred to it as the brain for the body, the second brain. So tune in every single month, every single week. Next month will be a complete new theme and new theory, learning more about how to just continue to be healthy.
And please, if you have any thoughts or ideas, let us know, because we're open to your ideas. And if you're on Facebook, message us, because we can email you or connect you with these recipes.
Yes.
Yes,
So yes,
please.
if you are on Facebook, if you're not part of Vessel Health at this point and you would like these recipes, message me your email and I will get them sent over to you. All right. So we've got a huge variety of things that we offer here at Vessel Health. I like to say, if your cardiologist isn't taking care of, you know, your nutrition, is really taking care of your heart. Here at Vessel Health, we treat the system. So the entire system, not just the symptoms. So continue to tune in. We'll be here every Wednesday night. Signing out, eating soup.